Welcome back to the channel too. We've got our daily NBA predictions for January 4th here on this Saturday. For the association, we've got 9 games today, headlined by, I don't know what the best game is today. Warriors, Grizzlies, we got injuries. Hawks, Clippers, Kawhi's back. Yeah, the claw's back. And it might not go that well for Kawhi. Well, we'll get to that. I have a theory about the Clippers and why Kawhi right now is actually going to hurt them. We'll just stay tuned. But folks, if you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. About 3 hours ago, we posted our college basketball daily best bets as well. Why that video got up so early? Because, well, actually, you're seeing this now because, Kentucky and Florida is over by now. So, either Kentucky won and we're 1-0 today, or Florida went to Lexington and won. So, go Wildcats, right? All right. That video is linked in the description down below, though. We've got games later on today, like USF taking on Wazoo, and also a great game between Alcorn State and Jackson State. Heavyweight matchup. Also, we got our college football predictions for round 3 of the college football playoffs. That is linked in the description down below as well as our NFL predictions. There's games today, obviously. All the AFC North is playing, so if you want, one hell of a breakdown between Bailey Zappi and Lamar Jackson, don't know who's winning that one. Yeah, make sure to check that one out in the description down below. Okay, let's go to the first of our NBA predictions today. We start things off with the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Philadelphia 76ers should not be 7.5-point favorites against anybody on the road. Guys, the Sixers suck. Okay? No Jared McCain, no winning. Now, they'll probably beat the Nets, so I just contradicted myself. But I don't think Philly's that good. I don't know. I watched that Kings game. They choked it. PG's got his best game of the year. They still choke it. And obviously, PG was the one choking at the end by turning the ball over and then fouling out. And then that Warriors game, it was so expected they were going to get killed. I mean, Joel had a big night, but it's just, Embiid's he doesn't stay on the court. He's, you're not going to get every single night out of Joel Embiid because he's, load managing half the time. Now, I think Joel's playing tonight against the Nets, I think. But maybe he doesn't. Who knows? They return home on Monday. I would expect Joel to play, but I don't think this team covers because there's too many question marks around the 76ers to rely on them to cover. And I get it, Brooklyn, they're bad now, right? And they just lost Maxwell Lewis from the Lakers. It looks like D'Angelo Russell, I believe, is fine. I think he's okay. He was injured. I think he's fine, yeah. Is Cam Thomas playing this game? Because he doesn't always play every night. Cam Thomas is questionable. That's going to be something. No Cameron Johnson. So, okay, Cam Thomas has to play this game for this play to work. Okay? If Cam Thomas doesn't play, I'm sorry, this isn't hitting. Okay? But we're expecting Cam Thomas to play this basketball game, so that means they'll cover the 7.5 points. Because if they don't have Cam Thomas and Cameron Johnson on the court, it's going to be rough. Noah Clowney is questionable as well. I'd expect him to play. I think Brooklyn can keep this game close. So I think they can win? No. But the game is in Brooklyn. Philly is Philly. They choke everything. Paul George had his one good performance a month, so he's going to go back to just being mid now. Caleb Martin has been actually really good off the bench. He's been great. Kelly Oubre still not going to return, still doubtful from that hand injury. Joel, again, questionable. So just, again, it's the question marks around the 76ers. I think I think Philly wins, but I'm going to take Brooklyn to cover. Personally, I'd stay away from this game. Next up, we go to Detroit, Michigan. We've got the Detroit Pistons taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm going to take Detroit to cover the 6.5 points. I'm going to take Minnesota to win. Okay, second half of a back-to-back for Detroit. A very tough game against the Charlotte Hornets last night. A game that should not have been that close. They were down by 10 at halftime. They, again, came back, rallied, and won. And guys, all right, I'll stop hating on Tobias Harris. Maybe all it took was Jaden Ivey getting hurt and being out for apparently only 4 weeks, so W. Not W that he's hurt, but W that he's going to come back. Probably like 8 weeks, but still, I'm glad that Jaden Ivey's going to get to play basketball this season. But maybe that's all it took, right? Ivey going out, now Tobias Harris can have an impact on this basketball team. Tobias Harris looked great, 24 points. Now, take that 4-point win with a grain of salt, guys. I think the refs said Charlotte money line or Charlotte spread in that game. I mean, some of the calls the Hornets were getting were absolutely insane. It was almost as bad as the New Mexico-Nevada game last night. But I do think, again, Detroit is good enough to keep this game within 6. They've won back-to-back games. Orlando on the first, Charlotte yesterday. Now, obviously, you get Minnesota in town. I do think the Timberwolves get it, though. Minnesota's been very shaky this year, though. Don't get me wrong. This is a 17-16 team this season. This is a team that is currently 10th in the Western Conference. And by the way, as I look at the standings, how beautiful is that? The Los Angeles Lakers are 4th in the West. Oh my goodness, I've been waiting so long. Guys, the Lakers might get out of the play-in. Like, they might not have to play the play-in this season. Oh my goodness, it's about time. Knock on wood, but oh wow. I mean, just about damn time. Holy crap. The Thunder are winning the NBA championship, though. I mean, guys, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. What a guy. What a basketball player. I told you there'd be in the Knicks. Told you Shai was going to go crazy like he does every night. Just saying. We'll get to the Knicks in a minute. But yeah, I'm going to take Detroit to cover. I'll take Minnesota to win, though. Timberwolves coming off back-to-back losses to the Thunder and the Celtics. Those are two of the top teams in the NBA, if not the two best teams in the NBA. They lose to OKC by 8. They lose to Boston by 3. Ant's due for a big night. Edwards hasn't had a really good game since Christmas. I'd expect him to show up tonight against the Pistons. I'll take the Timberwolves to win, but the game being in Detroit and the Pistons being scrappy, I think the Pistons cover the 6.5 points. But yes, on the money line, we'll take minus 250 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Next up, we go to the Gainbridge Fieldhouse here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And yep, we're going to keep doing it. Give me the Indiana Pacers. Guys, I don't see how they lose this game to the Suns. I really don't. The Suns keep sucking. Bradley Beal's questionable for this game. We'll see if he actually gives it a go or not. But Phoenix has lost 3 in a row. They have not won a game since Christmas. And in fact, they have lost now 6 out their last 7 games. The only win being Christmas against the Nuggets. Every time I bet on the Nuggets, they lose. And every time I bet against the Nuggets, they can't miss a shot. And then when I don't bet on the Nuggets, Victor Wembanyama beats them last night. I just don't bet on the game at all. Wembanyama wins. So I think the Pacers beat the Suns. Guys, Tyrese Haliburton may be back. He's not even in the top 10 of the vote getters for the All-Star game. It doesn't matter, but whatever. But Tyrese might be back. You see what he did against the Heat the other night? 33-15. I mean, my goodness. Hey, I think the Pacers have their superstar back. And Indiana's been so much better recently. I know the Bucks loss was really bad, but they're 17-18. They've got a chance to get back to 500. Yes, it's happening. It is happening. Indiana is going to get back to 500 with this win here. Guys, this team hasn't been 500. Oh, actually, they're 500 when they beat the Warriors. But still, that's the only time they've been 500 the entire season, other than, oh my God, when they were 1-1. Oh, this is bad. No, Indiana's officially back. Because, now hear me out. Now the schedule gets not really that easy. But Brooklyn, Chicago, Golden State, Cleveland, Pistons, Sixers, San Antonio, Pistons, Hawks, Jazz, Portland, Clippers. Is what it is. Phoenix, though, has just been so unreliable. Losing 6 out of 7. Guys, what's wrong with the Suns? I don't know. Kevin Durant just can't do everything, I guess. I mean, get the man some help. It's just these bench guys need to start hitting their shots. That's kind of what happens. And the Suns don't really play defense either. And they really struggle to score sometimes if it's not Kevin Durant shooting. So the Pacers right now are playing like the better basketball team. They've been hotter. Tyrese Haliburton, again, is back. So hopefully Tyrese can finally string together 2 back-to-back really good games. And obviously Spicy P, Pascal Siakam is going to continue to be great for Indiana as well. I like the Pacers a lot in this spot. They're at home. Phoenix has been bad. Indiana seems like they're getting better. But every time we think, oh, the Pacers are back, they just mess up and lose one. Let's hope it doesn't happen here. Give me Indiana to win and cover the 1.5 as well. Next up, we move on to Miami, Florida. We've got the Miami Heat taking on the Utah Jazz. Now, the game, Miami wins. They cover the 7.5 points. What you're really thinking about when you hear the Miami Heat right now, you're thinking of Jimmy Butler. So Jimmy has been suspended. He has been suspended for 7 games? Yes, for multiple instances of conduct detrimental to the team. Basically, meaning he just doesn't want to be there, so he's gone. Okay. He was suspended. He's gone for 7 games, or he just got suspended. Obviously, he's not going to be playing the next 7 games, and I assume by the time he's off that suspension, he'll be back playing, obviously, for just another team other than the Miami Heat, which is great. Jimmy wasn't having the best season this year. He's averaging 17.5. Tyler Hero's obviously been the lead scorer for Miami, and it's been him and Bam Adebayo that have really led the charge for Miami this season. I mean, shout out to the former Indiana Hoosier, Khalil Ware. 25 points in the loss the other night to the Indiana Pacers, a game where Miami was just getting outclassed the entire game. Indiana was beating them at all points in that basketball game. They should be able to beat Utah, but, I'd stay away just because it feels like a weird spot. Again, Miami dealing with all this Jimmy Butler stuff. The Jazz have lost 5 in a row. They've, lost the Cavs, Trailblazers, Sixers, Nuggets, Knicks. This team is not good. It is just a matter of time. We're talking about the Heat trading Jimmy Butler. It's a matter of time before the Utah Jazz sell everyone. We're talking Walker Kessler. We're talking Colin Sexton. We're talking Jordan Clarkson. Hell, John Collins. It is time for the Jazz to completely tear this all down. They're not going anywhere. They're 7-25. They're not good. Let's trade these guys to teams that can actually win. Okay? I'm sorry, Utah. Let's focus on the Utah Hockey Club. All right? Let's focus on the UHC, who isn't very good either. But you know what? They have a better chance of making the postseason than the Jazz do, even though they're not. They're not getting out the Central. And I would like to hope the Canucks can get that wild card. I don't know. God, it's just, man, the Canucks. I don't talk hockey on the channel, but, oh, man. Just, the Canucks, man. Elias Pettersson. I'd just be so hopeful. Anyways, I know he's injured, but still. Regardless, give me the Miami Heat to win this basketball game. They'll cover the 7.5, and they'll get it pretty easily, I think. But you know what? Stay away. There's too much stuff surrounding the Heat. The basketball game against the Utah Jazz is the least talked about thing right now within the Heat organization. They're talking about Jimmy Butler. Don't bet the game. It's the first one coming off the Jimmy suspension. Next up, we go to Chicago, Illinois. We've got the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls. I understand why Chicago's getting 5.5 points. We're not going to take the bait. We're going to take the Knicks. Why are they getting 5.5? Because the Knicks just lost. Second half of back-to-back. They're rolling into the United Center to take on the Bulls. I still like the Knicks to win this basketball game. Now, they lost yesterday to the Oklahoma City Thunder. But you know what, guys? Everyone loses to the Oklahoma City Thunder. 14 straight wins. 14 of them. Count them. 14. That's what the best player in the NBA will do to you. All right? He's the best player in the league. And it's not really a debate. Okay? The Knicks are good, though. The Knicks are good. I've never said the Knicks aren't a good team. Second half of back-to-back, they should still be able to beat Chicago. Why? The Bulls don't play defense. The Bulls give 125 points to the Wizards the other night. Their last game, they lost to Washington. I actually picked the Wizards yesterday, and of course, they choke in the fourth quarter against C.J. McCollum's 45 points in the New Orleans Pelicans. It's ridiculous. Again, Chicago, like Utah, there's just a team that's just kind of waiting to tear it all down. We're talking Levine, we're talking Vucevic. Those guys are going to be gone at some point this season, I would assume. Levine's great, but he needs to be on a winning team. The Los Angeles Lakers. But no, the Lakers can't get him without trading Reeves, so probably not. The Lakers are fine, 20-14, fourth in the Western Conference. Let's go, dude. They'll be third. They'll finish third in the West this year. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, they're gonna be great. The Knicks, though, are just a much better team. Again, when you get into a type of game that the Knicks are going to have against the Bulls, a Bulls team that doesn't play defense, New York's going to be fine. Again, Jalen Brunson averaging 25, Cat averaging 25, and all these other guys as well that can score. We're talking about Mikal Bridges. We're talking about OG Anunoby. We're talking about Josh Hart. Even the bench guys, again, Payne and McBride. These guys are so capable, and the Bulls don't play defense. The Bulls won't be able to keep up with the explosiveness. So, again, New York is equipped for the shootout. The Bulls, even though that's all they do, will not be equipped to just hang with the Knicks because the Knicks will be able to score at will. And then you just got to rely on the Bulls, ability to consistently hit shots. Not going to do that. New York, -5.5. They'll win the game on the road. Second half of a back-to-back. Don't care. New York gets it, and they win the game outright as well, and they cover. Next up, we go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have got the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Now, Milwaukee, oh, what a game against the Brooklyn Nets, right? What a game. They're down big. The game's practically over in the fourth quarter. Yes, they're down big to the Brooklyn Nets. They go on a 20-0 run to cut the lead to 2, and then Giannis misses a layup at the end of the game. The Nets end up winning the basketball game. Wow. Not Giannis's fault, obviously. Did miss a layup, but still. Oh, man, the Bucks could have had that one. Would have been a crazy comeback, right? So Milwaukee is now getting Portland. This is a get-right game, right? The Trailblazers the other night were competitive against the Lakers, but ended up losing. They got blown out the night before against the 76ers. Again, obviously lost that game. Now they're going to get blown out again. This feels like a spot where Milwaukee can just handle them. The Bucks are finally healthy, it seems. Chris Middleton's questionable, but again, we're talking about Giannis. We're talking about Damian Lillard. These guys are finally healthy again. So that means the Bucks should consistently start winning a lot. Again, the Nets game, put it behind you. They should be able to blow out Portland in this one. Personally, again, there are a lot of games I like today. The last one we just talked about between New York, I like them to cover the 5.5. I like the Pacers a lot. Hell, I think it's a really good shot that the Pistons can cover the 6.5 as well. I don't mind Brooklyn plus 7.5, but this game and the Utah Jazz Miami Heat games, these two I'd stay away from. There's too much randomness with the Portland Trailblazers. There just is. 12.5 points is a lot of points. Again, if you force me on a pick, which I've given you, I'm taking Milwaukee minus 12.5. But again, to play, there's 9 games in the slate today, and there's a bunch of college basketball. Again, we have 5 best bets for you in the description down below. 4 now that the Kentucky game's over. But regardless, there's so many better games to bet on than this one. I'd stay away. There's so many variables to the Portland Trailblazers, right? 8-point loss to the Lakers, 22-point loss to the Sixers, right? It's just 7-point loss against the Suns, right? There's too much stuff. And again, especially Milwaukee too, a team that just lost to Brooklyn. I have no doubt in my mind that they beat the Trailblazers. They will win this basketball game. But will they cover? I don't know. I think they will. I wouldn't play it personally. Give me Milwaukee to win. We will hesitantly take them to cover the 12.5 points. But again, there's so many better games today to bet on. Don't take this one. Next up, we go to the second of a back-to-back between the Denver Nuggets and the San Antonio Spurs. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, okay, they're just playing back-to-back games in San Antonio, obviously, because this game's in San Antonio. Nope. They played yesterday in Denver. Who thought this was a good idea? Adam Silver, okay, if this game's on Sunday, I get it. No, we're going back-to-back, one night in Denver, one night down south to San Antonio, Texas. Who made this schedule? Who made it? Wembanyama was great last night, though, and Jokic was too. It was a great battle. Jokic, 41-18-9. Wemby, 35-18. My goodness. Give me San Antonio again. They did it yesterday. They are going to do it again. We have seen it in so many spots this season. The team that wins the first of the back-to-back on back-to-back days. Not, they play, Thursday and they take a day off on Friday. They play again on Saturday. No. Back-to-back. So Friday, Saturday, like this game is. We have seen the team that wins the first game likely wins the second one as well. On top of that, we get the Spurs at home now. The Spurs won the first game in Denver. Now they return home. I really like San Antonio in this spot. Plus money, we'll take it. I don't think Sochan's playing. Maybe. I don't know. He didn't play the first game in Denver due to a back injury. But again, maybe just didn't play the first half of the back-to-back. Maybe Sochan will play this one. That's not going to make too much of a difference. Again, the San Antonio Spurs won the first game without Sochan. And obviously, again, it's because of Victor Wembanyama. Guys, Wemby is not going to win the MVP this season. But I think Wemby's winning one in the next 3 years. After this year, obviously. I think I'd be surprised if he doesn't. He's that good. And the Spurs team is only going to continue to evolve and get better around him. And obviously, again, CP3 is a great help towards that. But the entire squad's going to only get better around Victor Wembanyama, who's averaging 25.5 and 10 this season, which is incredible for a second-year guy. He's lived up to everything he's been expected to be. Denver doesn't play defense, so that's how San Antonio beat them, and they'll beat them again. Jamal Murray plays too inconsistent. The play is just too inconsistent out of him. Aaron Gordon didn't play the first game. We'll see if he plays the second. Jokic is doing everything he can. He is. He's number 2 on my MVP ballot. 30, 13, and 10. That's great. That's great. But even that's not enough. Give me San Antonio in the second half of a back-to-back. They won the game yesterday by 3. They'll get it by more this time. We are taking the Spurs at plus money, plus 115. Give me San Antonio to win against the Denver Nuggets. Next up, we go to San Francisco, California, where we have the Golden State Warriors taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Give me Golden State. Yeah, give me Golden State. We can't take Memphis on the injuries, guys. I've done it too many times. We can't do it. I'm sorry. I've been trying to push the button a little bit with Memphis, and we took them in the Sacramento game. I'm not taking this team on a second half of a back-to-back. I'm not going to, especially with the injuries that they have. No Ja, no Marcus Smart. I just can't do it. And yes, I've been the biggest, the Warriors are going to fall off a cliff guy. And they are. Trust me, they will. But they'll beat Memphis here, and I might be forced to take them on back-to-back nights because they get Sacramento tomorrow. They'll probably beat Sacramento because the Kings have been hot, though. Maybe I'll take the Kings. Maybe I'll take the Kings. I don't know. But give me the Warriors in this one, right? Wiggins is probable. Oh, never mind. I thought Steph was playing. Okay, guys. All right. Nope. Change the pick. Ignore what you see on the screen. We're taking the Memphis Grizzlies. Steph's not playing and they're the favorites? All right, Memphis at plus money all day. What are we doing? Really? Okay, I don't care. John Marcus Smart are out. All right, we're going Memphis then. I was under the assumption Steph was playing. Wiggins is questionable. That means he will play if Steph's not playing, but really? So that means Curry's playing the Kings game. All right, yeah, Memphis is taking this one, guys. Yeah, they are. Okay, we had 30 points out of Jalen Wells last night. Okay, great. Season high for Jalen Wells. Jaren Jackson, they lost a 5-point game against Sacramento. Whatever. 138 to 133. It is what it is. Jaren Jackson put up 28. He was 3 for 9 from 3-point range. Jalen Wells was 8 for 9 from beyond the arc. If the Grizzlies can consistently get that at a Jalen Wells, oh my goodness, this team's only going to get better. I think the Grizzlies are good. I just was prepared to pick against them today because I thought Steph Curry was playing and obviously the injuries. And don't get me wrong, the injuries are still a factor too for Memphis. But, guys, Steph Curry not playing is the biggest hit that this Warriors team can take, obviously. Now you got to rely on a guy like Kuminga to score. But the thing is, Jonathan Kuminga doesn't start for this basketball team, which doesn't make any sense to me. He's their second best scorer, and he's not going to start. Podziemski's out as well, so it means Buddy Hield's going to have to start. It's going to be Schroeder, Hield, Wiggins, Draymond, Trace Jackson Davis. The Warriors are leaving their best scorer, again, available to them with Curry out, on the bench for this game. Obviously, he'll play, but Jonathan Kuminga should be getting starting minutes. He is their second best player behind Steph Curry. Yes, he's better than Wiggins. Hell, he's their second leading scorer. He's averaging 17 points a game. And he's not starting, even with Curry out. That means the Grizzlies win it. Again, the Warriors are just a different team without Steph Curry, obviously. They don't have the luxury like the Lakers. Oh, LeBron doesn't play. That means AD can step in and have his night. No. Curry goes out, then you need Kuminga to have a night. But Jonathan Kuminga has started less than a third of the games this season for the Warriors. And he averages 17 points. What are we doing? The guy's a starter. He should be a starter, but he's not. Memphis wins the basketball game. They go on the road, even with the injuries. Second half of a back-to-back, don't care. They beat this Warriors team. Ignore the graphic. To our final game of the night. You saw it in the thumbnail. Now we're going to talk about it. Kawhi Leonard's going to hurt this Clippers team tonight. Not for the long-term future, but tonight it is going to affect the Los Angeles Clippers. I assume Kawhi Leonard's immediately going back into the starting lineup. I would only assume so. They've played 34 games this season without Kawhi Leonard, who obviously, again, is their guy. Norman Powell is the best player on this team, but whatever. Who had a bad shooting night in Oklahoma City, but it's fine, okay? This team has been running through Norman Powell, essentially, for the last, 3 months. Now you bring in Kawhi Leonard, who has played with Norman Powell, yes, but hasn't played with this Norman Powell, an all-star Norman Powell. How does this team adjust? James Harden's not going to get his shots, all of his shots. Norman Powell now doesn't get all of his shots because Kawhi is playing as well. So how does this team deal with this? I think there is going to be a figuring out process for Los Angeles with Kawhi Leonard back. I think they lose their first 3 games with Kawhi back in the lineup. Obviously, again, I'd assume Kawhi to play limited minutes, but I'd assume he's going to play the next 3 games. They get days in between all those games. They play Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. They get Atlanta, then on the road against Minnesota and Denver. I think they lose this game at home to the Hawks. And I also refuse to believe the Hawks are going on this road trip and starting the road trip, the West Coast trip, 0-3. Losing to the Nuggets, losing to the Lakers. Trae Young's doing all he can. 30 points in the Denver loss, 33 in the Lakers loss. Trae Young, again, is an all-star, and he is a top 15 player in the National Basketball Association. And I'm not taking any other answer for that case. Again, I think it hurts the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard being in tonight. Obviously, long-term, yes, you need Kawhi Leonard on this team if the Clippers are going to go anywhere in the postseason. But for the immediate future, I do think we can benefit against Kawhi Leonard being in the lineup. The Hawks are a good team. They're going to catch you. They've lost a couple games, sure, but this team's still going to catch you. Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, tremendous defensive player, the great barrier thief. Jalen Johnson, Zachary Ricochet. This team will get you in a game like this, and it feels like, again, a perfect trap game for the Clippers, right? This is a perfect trap. Kawhi's coming back, national media back on the Clippers, and at the same time, oh wow, national media back on the Clippers. Wow, this Norman Powell guy's been great. Norman Powell's been great this season, right? I mean, nationally televised game. Oh, Kawhi's back now, and the Hawks get him. I just expect this. It feels like the ultimate trap game, and I think the Atlanta Hawks go on the road to the Intuit Dome. Their second night in a row in Los Angeles. The Hawks go to Inglewood, and they take down the Los Angeles Clippers in Kawhi Leonard's 2025 season debut. So folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA predictions here for January 4th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment. If you do disagree with any of the picks, folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.